What's up, Ragin Nation? This is Alex, and you're watching the Ragin Ronin review, and today I'm going to review In Time for you. I know it's a little bit late, but I just watched it recently, and here's my review. In Time is really about a fictional society where the currency is your time. You only age till you're 25 years old, and after that, what you look like at the age of 25 is what you will always look like. After that, you only have 1 year to live. And if you want to live longer, you gotta buy your way, maybe by working harder or exchanging things, bartering somehow, I don't know. So everything works by the exchange of currency, which is time. If you want to extend your rent on your house, you're gonna have to give up some of your time. It's a little ironic because, well, if I give up my time, I won't even be able to live at the house. But I'll get into that later. The movie stars Justin Timberlake, Amanda Seyfried, Olivia Wilde, Alex Pettyfer, and Cillian Murphy. And when I was watching the movie, I was thinking that this is a lot like Logan's Run meets The Fugitive. Justin Timberlake's on the run because someone gave him all his time. That person suicided himself, and then he was caught on camera, and now all these timekeepers, these are like time cops, I guess, they're chasing him down because they don't care that the original guy committed suicide. All they care about is what they saw on camera, and that appears to be Justin Timberlake pushing him over a bridge. So in the movie, there's a lot of running. There's really a lot of running, not a whole lot of gunfire, just a lot of running. And Justin Timberlake's character is actually from the ghetto, which is like a lower society where people have to basically live day by day. Having an extra 24 hours in their life is actually a regular routine thing. When you're watching this movie and you're seeing how they live, I'm just thinking, what a way to live. You know, how can people live like this? So in that sense, it's a little intense if you're kind of sensitive to that sort of thing. There's a scene where someone who's important in Justin Timberlake's life only have seconds to live. That scene really set the tone for this movie. And remember how I mentioned that this movie is a lot like The Fugitive? It really is like that. Cillian Murphy plays Tom Jones' character. Cillian Murphy plays the same character that Tommy Lee Jones' character played in The Fugitive. He really doesn't care. He's just after Justin Timberlake, and he's not going to stop until he gets him. And then you have Amanda Seyfried's character, who originally was kidnapped, but then later on she teams up with Justin Timberlake after she sees what kind of life it is outside of the rich lifestyle, where they never have to worry about time, where you can live forever. And then later on in the movie it becomes like a Robin Hood type of movie, because they're robbing time banks and giving time to, you know, the masses, the people in the ghetto. So how do I really feel about this movie? I thought the movie was very engaging, actually. From the beginning to the very end of the movie, it caught my attention. This society, which is so different from ours, you're wondering the whole time, how did it get like this? And in what point in time in our lives did society feel that it had to make this change where we have to start giving up our own time and we can only live for 1 year after 25 years? The people in the ghetto seem to accept it, and they just really have to live paycheck by paycheck. It's kind of like a metaphor for the people living in housing poverty today, where they need to make ends meet just to afford rent, otherwise they're going to get evicted. So that is a kind of an eye-opener, because the movie came out at a time where Occupy Wall Street and all the Occupy movements are happening in the world. It just really brings it home with its portrayal of society, where it's you have the 1% and the 99%. There's many similarities. In Occupy Wall Street, they're trying to bring down like Citibank. In this movie, they're trying to bring down time banks. Okay, so I really like this movie. There's not a whole lot of action, like in terms of like gunfire or fist fights, but there's a lot of running, and the story itself is very intense. And what keeps it intense is the concept of not having enough time. The fact that they only have, in some scenes, only a half hour to live, or only like 2 hours or something, that in itself is excitement. It's very subtle, but it works. Some people can have tons of time. If you're caught having like a 1,000 years on your life, and you're in the ghetto, you're gonna get caught and you're gonna be dead anyways. So it's kind of ironic in that sense. You only want to have just enough time. Anyways, the movie isn't without flaws. There are some things that I found a little unbelievable. I know it's science fiction, keyword being fiction, but sometimes you have unbelievable character developments. Like, for example, how come all of a sudden it's so easy for a character to just change sides is a little bit unbelievable. Like, I don't buy that. Come on, seriously? I'm not gonna say who because I know I've spoiled just a little bit, but I don't want to spoil too much for you. One of the things I did like about the movie is that Cillian Murphy's character, the timekeeper, you know, he's dependent on time too, but he's trying so hard to fight crime, I guess, when in fact he himself needs to live day by day, whatever his employers give him for the time after a day of work. So it's kind of ironic in that sense, and you don't get a realization of that until, you know, near the end of the movie. Other than some unbelievable character development moment, I think that this movie was pretty decent. I'd probably watch it again when it comes out on Blu-ray, but it's not like totally something that's like, oh my god, it's so great that you gotta like watch it again or anything like that. It's not like that. I thought it had a great story, got some great characters, and it was captivating from beginning to end. And there was not a moment in the movie where I just felt, okay, this is moving kind of slowly. Every scene was interesting because the concept itself is very interesting. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes really tore this movie apart. I like this movie. It was high concept science fiction. This is Alex Yu, and thanks for watching the Ragin Ronin review. Peace. Scenes are really cool, like those little action pieces. I'm just thinking, man, they could be longer or they could use one more. I don't know which one I would rather have. Maybe longer action pieces.